Lord, I come before you today with an open heart, full of gratitude for the blessing of having a husband in my life. I recognize that in every union you have a greater purpose, a plan that transcends our limited human understanding. I see in my partner so much potential, so many gifts that you have placed in him with your careful and loving hand. Help me to see beyond appearances, beyond the difficult moments, to contemplate the man you created to be the leader of our home. I know that you chose him specifically for me, with all his unique characteristics, with his singular personality that fits perfectly with my being. I thank you for the wisdom with which you have woven our lives to intertwine on this earthly journey. In times of difficulty, when I feel like I need to take the reins, remind me that trusting in you also means trusting in the divine design for our family. Forgive me, Lord, for the times when I have tried to take on a role that was not my calling, when I have prevented my husband from growing in his leadership vocation through my impatience or control. So many times I have spoken when I should have kept quiet, acted when I should have waited, made decisions when I should have trusted. I recognize that I have not always been the helper that you have called me to be. Sometimes my anxiety makes me want to control everything, to solve everything quickly, without giving my husband space to develop in the time and way that only you know. Help me to understand that my role is not diminished when I allow him to lead. On the contrary, it is in this dance of complementary roles that our union grows stronger and reflects your glory in the world. Grant me the grace to step back when necessary, to support without suffocating, to counsel without manipulating, to love without conditions or impossible expectations. Lord, I ask that you awaken in my husband an awareness of the sacred calling you have placed upon his life as the leader of our home. May he feel your presence guiding every decision, every step, and every word. May it not be a burden upon his shoulders, but an honor and privilege that he embraces with courage and humility. I know that many worldly pressures attempt to confuse the true meaning of spiritual leadership, transforming it into domination or authoritarianism. Free my husband from these distortions. May he understand that leading as you have led means serving, loving unconditionally, and sacrificing for those entrusted to his care. May he find in you the perfect model of loving and firm leadership, one that guides with gentleness but does not stray from the path of truth. Strengthen him so that he will not be afraid to make difficult, even unpopular, decisions when they are in alignment with your will for our family. In the midst of the unseen battles he faces every day, place your armor over him. Shield his mind from thoughts of inadequacy, from unfair comparisons, from doubts about his ability. So many men today feel diminished, incapable, unprepared to lead, bombarded by conflicting messages about what it means to be a man in this day and age. My husband is not immune to these struggles. So I ask that you strengthen his identity as a beloved son, as a man created in your image, as a leader called to an eternal purpose. May he not seek approval in the passing standards of this world, but find his security and worth in who he is in you. When the voices of discouragement, failure, or comparison try to diminish him, may your voice be louder in his heart, reminding him of who you say he is. Lord, help me to be a wife who encourages, who builds, who strengthens. May my words be like balm to his heart when it is wounded, like refreshing water when it is weary. Teach me the language of respect that so nourishes the masculine soul. May I honor him publicly and privately, demonstrating my trust in his decisions, my admiration for his character, my gratitude for his work and dedication. When we disagree, may I express my thoughts with grace and humility, without belittling him or questioning him as a leader. Help me to recognize that respect does not mean agreeing with everything, but trusting the process, the person, the greater plan you have for us. May I be a faithful mirror, reflecting back to him the image of the man you see when you look at him. Not his flaws, but his potential. Not his weaknesses, but his strength in you. For those of you who have been following along in prayer, I want to share a resource that has been a blessing in my journey. The ebook, Don't Think, Trust and Surrender, has practical tools for transforming anxiety into trust, especially when we face challenges in our relationships. It teaches us how to apply biblical principles to develop a posture of confident surrender that honors God's established leadership in our homes. This resource is available in the first pinned comment of this video. Lord, in the small decisions of our daily lives, Help us to develop a rhythm of leadership and submission that honors you. May my husband feel comfortable consulting with me, valuing my perspective and wisdom, but also feel free to make decisions without fearing my reaction or resistance. May our communication be marked by transparency, loving honesty, and a sincere desire to build together the home you have entrusted to us. Help us to establish regular times of prayer together, where we can open our hearts to each other and to you, seeking your direction for every aspect of our lives. In these sacred moments of communion, strengthen the spiritual bond between us, reminding us that we are first brothers in faith before we are husband and wife. This shared spiritual foundation is the surest foundation upon which to build healthy and balanced family leadership. I ask you for wisdom, Lord, to know when to speak and when to be silent, when to act and when to wait. There are times when I need to step forward to support my husband, and there are times when I need to step back so he can grow. This delicate dance requires discernment that only you can provide. Deliver me from the critical spirit that sees only the mistakes, the flaws, the areas where he could improve. Instead, give me eyes to see the good, the beautiful, the true in him. May I be generous with sincere praise, quick to express gratitude, slow to criticize or correct. When it is necessary to address sensitive areas, may I do so with such gentleness and respect that he feels loved and valued even in the midst of growth. May our most difficult conversations be enveloped by the grace we have received from you, allowing for transformation without condemnation. Lord, put in his heart the desire to seek you daily, to feed on your word, to grow in intimacy with you. I know that the best way for my husband to lead our family is to be led first by you. May he find joy in times of communion with you, not out of obligation or to fulfill an expectation of mine, but out of genuine love and spiritual hunger. If necessary, use me as an instrument to encourage him in this pursuit, but keep me from becoming his conscience or his Holy Spirit. Only you can transform him from the inside out. My role is to love, pray, and support. When he fails, and we all do, may I extend the same grace that you constantly extend to us. May I be a safe haven where he finds unconditional acceptance, not a courtroom where he fears being judged. May our home be a sanctuary of grace, where we can both grow, make mistakes, and begin again, without fear of rejection or condemnation. As for our children, help us to model a relationship that inspires them to value your divine designs for men and women. May they see in us a living example of how leadership and submission can coexist in harmony and mutual respect, without domination or manipulation. May our daughters learn to honor male leadership without diminishing their own value and unique calling. May our sons learn that leadership is a sacred privilege that demands character, integrity, and service, not a right to be claimed or a title to be flaunted. Through our daily interactions, consciously or unconsciously, we are shaping the next generation of leaders and followers. May our union reflect your wisdom and beauty, inspiring them to seek relationships that honor you. Even in the moments when we fail, use our failures and reconciliations to teach them that your grace is greater than our weaknesses, that forgiveness restores what pride breaks. In those moments when my husband is overwhelmed with the responsibilities of leadership, when he feels the weight of the consequences of his decisions, the endless needs of our family, the multiple expectations resting on his shoulders, in those moments, Lord, be his refuge and strength. Remind him that he does not have to carry these burdens alone, that you are always there to guide, strengthen, and direct him. And use me as an instrument of your care for him. May I recognize the signs of burnout before he reaches his breaking point, offering not only emotional understanding but practical help to lighten his burdens. May I create spaces in our routine for him to rest, to recover, to find joy and pleasure in the little things in life. May our home be not just a place of responsibilities, but of renewal for his weary soul. Lord, I know that leading our family is just one of many areas where my husband is called to exert influence. He also has responsibilities in his work, in our community, and in our circle of friends. Help him to balance all of these areas with wisdom and discernment, knowing when to say yes and when to say no, prioritizing what truly matters from an eternal perspective. Free him from the trap of seeking validation through professional success or the recognition of others at the expense of his spiritual, emotional, or physical health. May he find his identity first in you as a beloved son and then in his calling as a husband and father, knowing that no amount of worldly success can compensate for failure in the home. And when he needs to rearrange priorities or make difficult changes, may I be by his side, supporting him with understanding and flexibility, even when that means adjusting our lifestyle or expectations. When times of trial come, and you have promised us they will, strengthen him to lead our family through the storms with unshakable faith in your promises. May he not despair over the financial problems, the illnesses, the relationship conflicts, the closed doors, the deferred hopes that will inevitably cross our path. Instead, may he be an anchor of hope and confidence, reminding us of your care in times past, of your never-failing faithfulness, of your ability to transform even our greatest difficulties into opportunities for growth and witness. And if he should falter, for we all have moments of doubt and discouragement, let me be a silent and constant support, praying when he cannot pray, believing when his faith is weak, reminding him of eternal truths when circumstances cloud his spiritual vision. Lord, I also intercede for the practical aspects of our partnership in the home. Grant us wisdom to divide responsibilities in a way that honors the gifts and abilities you have given each of us, without being bound by rigid stereotypes or cultural expectations that do not reflect your will for our specific family. May we be flexible and adaptable, recognizing that the seasons of life change, and with them, our roles and contributions may need to be adjusted. Deliver us from the competition that divides, the comparison that diminishes, the resentment that erodes the foundations of love. Instead, may our union be marked by harmonious complementarity, where our individual strengths combine to form something more beautiful and resilient than either of us could be alone. May every shared decision, every responsibility assumed, every sacrifice made, be an expression of the love that unites us and of our commitment to the vision you have given us for our family. As for the intimacy of our relationship, Lord, I pray that it will be a reflection of the sacred union between Christ and His Church, marked by sacrificial love, trusting surrender, and honest and deep communication. May my husband find in our intimate relationship not only physical fulfillment but confirmation of his worth as a man and a leader. Deliver us from the distorted patterns the world promotes that reduce sexuality to mere selfish gratification or use it as a tool of manipulation and control. Instead, may our physical union be an expression of the spiritual covenant we share, an enclosed garden where we can celebrate the beauty of mutual vulnerability, of pleasure given and received generously, of a deep knowledge of each other that reflects your intimate knowledge of each of us. May this aspect of our marriage strengthen his confidence as a leader, reminding him that he is fully accepted, desired, and admired. Lord, look at the marriages around us that are struggling with these same issues of leadership and submission. So many men feel discouraged, inadequate, defeated in their calling to lead. So many women feel overwhelmed, frustrated, torn between respecting and taking on responsibilities that are not theirs. Use our testimonies, our struggles, our small steps of growth to encourage other couples on their journey. Give us discernment to know when to share our experiences and when to maintain the sacred privacy of our homes. May we never use the stories of our married life as a way to shame or belittle our spouse, but always to build up, encourage, and point to your transforming grace. And when others open up to us about their own struggles, may we offer not judgment, but understanding. Not simplistic solutions, but compassionate presence. Not empty advice, but sincere prayer. Father, remind me constantly that true transformation comes from you. I cannot change my husband with criticism, manipulation, or pressure. These will only produce superficial and temporary results. Only you can work in him to will and to do according to your good pleasure. My role is to love, to respect, to pray, to trust, and then to step back and allow you to work in your own time and way. Deliver me from the temptation to control outcomes or set deadlines for his growth. Instead, fill me with patient hope, persistent faith, and a love that believes all things, hopes all things, endures all things. May I see each small step as cause for celebration, each movement in the right direction as evidence of your faithfulness. And as we wait together for the full flowering of your plan for our family, may we enjoy the journey, finding joy in the process, not just in the final destination. May our home be a place where your presence is palpable, your name is honored, and your kingdom is made manifest in the small and large interactions of our shared life. Lord, may our testimony of a marriage where male leadership and female respect coexist in harmony inspire others to seek your wisdom for their own relationships. May our children grow up with a balanced and biblical understanding of marriage roles, free from both oppressive sexism and feminism that rejects your designs. May they see in our imperfect example a glimpse of the perfect relationship between Christ and His church, learning that submission does not diminish but dignifies, that leadership does not dominate but serves. In a culture increasingly confused about identity and relationships, may our families be beacons of clarity and truth, living counterculturally not out of rebellion but out of loving obedience to you. And when we make mistakes, as we surely will, may our humility in acknowledging them and our willingness to grow through them be part of our witness, showing that perfection is not the standard, but grace and continual growth. If you are watching this video and felt your heart touched, please like it and share it with other women who may need this message of hope for their marriages. God, I ask that you especially strengthen women who are praying this prayer in situations where their husbands refuse to take on any leadership responsibility. Some are facing not only a lack of leadership, but emotional or spiritual abandonment. Give them wisdom to discern when to wait patiently and when to seek additional help through pastoral or professional counseling. Remind them that respect does not mean tolerating abuse or gross neglect. If there are women hearing this prayer in unhealthy relationships, guide them to safe places of healing and restoration. For most, however, the journey is more subtle. Days of frustration interspersed with moments of hope, problematic communication patterns that need to be relearned, unspoken expectations that cause mutual disappointment. For these sisters, grant perseverance, discernment, and a supportive community that can encourage them without undermining their marriages. May each find in you not only the perfect model of love, but the inexhaustible source of strength to love imperfectly, day after day, trusting in your work of redemption. When my husband feels inadequate to lead our family, he uses that very awareness of limitation to draw him into deeper dependence on you. When I feel frustrated by his shortcomings, he uses that frustration to reveal my own areas of pride and control. In your sovereign hands, even the most difficult aspects of our relationship can be transformed into opportunities for spiritual growth. Nothing is wasted. Nothing is irreparable when subjected to your restorative grace. This confidence in your sovereignty over our shared story gives me hope to continue investing, believing, and working toward building a marriage that honors you, even when results seem distant or progress is slow. Help me to see our relationship through an eternal lens, understanding that we are on a journey of mutual sanctification that will only be complete when we are in your presence. Lord, in our moments of greatest intimacy and vulnerability, when the masks fall away and we see each other as we truly are, imperfections and needs all, in these moments, allow grace to flow freely between us. May my husband feel safe to share his doubts, his fears, his struggles, knowing that he will not be judged or diminished for his confessions. May I offer him not only emotional understanding but also genuine respect for his courage in being authentic. And when I too need to reveal my own weaknesses and wounds, may he respond with the same compassion and acceptance that you continually show us. Our marriage does not have to be perfect to be powerful. In fact, it is precisely through our imperfections embraced with humility and love that your grace is most clearly manifested. May we find beauty not only in the highs of our relationship, but also in the lows, where your presence becomes most palpable and your strength most evident in our weakness. Lord, I reaffirm my commitment to your design for our marriage. Not because it is easy or because my husband always lives up to my expectations, but because I trust in your infinite wisdom and your perfect love for us both. I renew my resolve to honor, respect, and support him in his calling as leader, not out of obligation, but out of a heart that recognizes the beauty of your command. Help me on days when this choice will be difficult, when my feelings will contradict my commitments, when the temptation to control or manipulate will seem stronger than the willingness to trust and wait. In these moments, remind me that obeying you is always the path to true freedom and fulfillment. May my respectful submission not be seen as weakness, but as a powerful countercultural choice that testifies to my trust not only in my husband, but first and foremost in you, the perfect author of our love story. In Jesus' name, Amen.